Live from Sin City, it's the Socks and Pinstripes Podcast. And now, here's the star of the show, Giant Dr. Griffin!
This is Diet Dr. Griffin back with another episode of the Socks and Pinstripes Podcast. Shane's with us this morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today, Griffin?
I'm doing all right. Disappointed though that we have to talk about another Giants legend passing away this week because it's just I don't like talking about people dying, but it's unfortunately something that's been happening lately. We lost Orlando Cepeda.
I saw that too.
Just barely a week after we lose Willie Mays, lose another Giants guy who once was a 6-time All-Star for that team and one of Mays' teammates.
Yeah, I watched that game last night too, and I was really hoping they were going to pull through in extras, but it turns out that Dodger lineup just was too much for them. So.
Well, speaking of the Dodgers lineup, Shane and I are doing our sample all-star teams, and we set up a few rules for this. We're going to do a starting 9, all the positions and a DH. We're going to do 5 utility players, a rotation of 5 players, and then 3 bullpen arms. So 22 guys total per team. And then the little fun rivet here is we are having a representative from every single team in this, which, if you don't know, is an actual rule for the All-Star game. Every team must have at least one player on there. So, would you like to get started with your starting 9, Shane?
I was hoping that maybe you would get started first, and then I would go second.
One more thing before we get started. Every single player has to be currently healthy. That is another little thing, which is going to affect some of the names on here because Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber both went down on the same day earlier this week.
Yeah, that was an interesting move too for them to put them both on the IL like on the same day as well.
They got hurt on the same day.
I know, but like maybe, saving them for later in the season. Like, speaking of the Giants, their starting rotation has yet to be seen, and it looks like it's all going to happen after the All-Star break. And it should be interesting to see if it lives up to how good it can potentially be, or also how bad it can potentially be. So,
well, the thing about it is that I wonder if they wanted to just get them on the IL now because the All-Star break is going to be, they might just rest some of these guys through the All-Star break given how well the Phillies have played.
Yeah, that's also true, honestly. So
let's start. Do I do American League or National League first, Shane?
Let's go. I want to hear your National League team first, so let's go National League. Yeah.
All right. So at catcher, I have Will Smith for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
First base, Freddie Freeman. Second base, Ketel Marte. Third base, Alec Bohm. Shortstop, CJ Abrams for the Nationals.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. The Nats have been playing out of their mind this year. So
out of their mind to 500, although Patrick Corbin pretty much loses whatever he pitches. So
I mean, but CJ Abrams is having himself a career.
Yeah, he is. He was one of the Padres prospects, I believe, that got traded in the Juan Soto trade.
Yeah,
and or was he involved with the Scherzer? No. No, he was in the Padres. I'm sorry, I'm getting my trades mixed up here.
Yeah.
So for the outfield, I have Jurickson Profar, Brian Reynolds, and I'm kind of cheating a little bit with this, but Marcell Ozuna as my third outfielder. He technically hasn't played in the outfield this year, but he's a career outfielder. He can play that position. And then
Yeah.
obviously as my DH, Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, I mean, yeah, kind of. I feel like you kind of have to have him at DH. So,
Yeah, I mean Ozuna basically has been a DH this year, but both of those guys have been so dynamite. I couldn't leave Ozuna off the starting lineup. He's been so good this year.
yeah, it makes sense.
What about your team, Shane?
All right here. Let's see. So at catcher, I have William Contreras. Oh no, he's AL. Yeah. So
No,
Sean.
Brewers. There's the Brewers Contreras.
Yeah, Bruce Contreras. Yeah. So I got William Contreras, just because I feel like he's a pretty balanced catcher. I mean, the obvious catcher to go with is Will Smith. Just
I
like
was waffling between him and Contreras. Like Contreras was like close.
yeah.
You'll know why I went with a different direction later.
Okay, yeah. For DH, I did Otani as well, just because I mean that guy is just out of his mind this year. I think honestly, not having to pitch has allowed him to focus more on just hitting the cover off the baseball all
For
year.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that's definitely a factor.
I'm gonna go with Freddie Freeman at first base. He's on my fantasy team, and I just have to.
Just don't bench him.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't bench it. He taught me a lesson in benching him, and I think he hit like five, or not five, but like 3 home runs, went 5 for 8 or something crazy like that. So Um, for second base, I'm going to go with Ketel Marte on the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's having another solid year this year. Uh, he plays defense only when he wants to, but when he's playing defense and playing offense, he's unstoppable. For third base, I'm going to go with I go back and forth between Manny Machado and Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman's just starting to play well. Manny Machado's been holding up his end of the bargain for the Friars all year.
Yeah,
The
two
Friars,
homers yesterday.
yeah, and the Friars are playing pretty well right now. So I'm gonna have to go Machado on for third base, and for shortstop, I am gonna have to choose. Man, it's a crowded field this year.
Yeah,
But
was made up ahead of time.
yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna have to go with yeah, I'm gonna go with Francisco Lindor, just because the Mets are now swept the Yankees, which I always appreciate a good Yankees sweep, and having a good year as well. So
Lindor's been picking it up too.
yeah.
How's your outfield?
Outfield is going to be, let's see here. Man. I'm going to go Brian Reynolds like you went. Jerkson Profar also like you went. Heliot Ramos. I think that guy's having a great year this year too. Finally living up to his baseball card, basically. I mean, up
Yeah.
and down, blah 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 blah.
I think the
But
only reason I didn't really pick him is because he just hasn't played enough.
yeah, no, I mean, and that was kind of like my I wasn't going to, and then I put him on my fantasy team, so I was like, I got to show the guy some love. So
Well, that's a pretty good starting group there. Not a lot of disagreements there.
nice.
For my bench, I have Pete Alonso for the Mets.
Yeah,
I have Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, because somebody on the Rockies has to make the team.
yeah,
Ellie De La Cruz, I have Alec Burleson at the Cardinals because I couldn't really find a Cardinals player that I wanted to fit on the team.
Yeah.
And then Lindor is my other option.
Yeah, I mean, Francisco Lindor has been picking it up too, so.
Yeah, I mean he's supposed to be my favorite player, even though I've only drafted him one time in fantasy.
Why,
For those who don't
why is he
know,
supposed to be your favorite player?
Jeff just one day thought that I like had this weird man crush on Lindor, and I don't know why, but he got me this t-shirt, and you've seen it. It says, "If I die today, please tell Francisco Lindor I love him." That's an actual t-shirt. But anyway, who's on your bench?
So I have Alonso, Cruz, and Lindor as well. Oh man,
You
because
say you
it's
had
hard
Lindor on
to.
your bench too?
Yeah.
You had
Did
Lindor
I?
in your starting lineup, so that's
Okay, okay, yeah. My bad. Yeah, I got his name down twice here.
maybe
Let's
you meant
see here.
Abrams as one of your bench options.
What's up?
Maybe you meant Abrams as one of your options. You kind of flip-flopped him or something.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah. So, oh, and Reynolds too.
You have Reynolds in the starting lineup as well. So
Damn, dude. All right. I got doubles all over. I got so excited. So, yeah. So, CJ Abrams, and then I forgot who I picked from the Colorado Rockies.
well, it's like pretty much like McMahon or Tovar. I mean, that's pretty much like the two hitters that are any good on that team.
Yeah. Because I got Cal Quantrill to pitch because I feel like that's the only pitcher worth anything.
We're going to pitchers.
Uh, yeah. Well, that's my Rockies pitcher, but I need a Rockies offensive player.
You
Or do
know,
I
no,
just have
you,
to
no,
have a?
you, no, you don't. You just need one player on the team. You don't have to have an offensive player from the Rockies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Cal Quantrill is going to be my Rockies starter.
Okay,
So
so we have Alonzo, Ellie, um, and then who else is on your bench there?
Ian Happ and let's see here.
Ian Happ for the Cubs.
Yeah. Ian Happ for the Cubs and Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Some outfield depth there. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just went all outfielders on my bench. So
So let's go pitching side, and I'm just gonna run through my starting rotation and my bullpen.
okay.
So I have Chris Sale from the Braves, Tyler Glasnow from the Dodgers, Zach Wheeler from the Phillies, Shota Imanaga from the Cubs, and Brandon Webb from the Giants. And then for my 7, 8, 9, I have Tanner Scott from the Marlins, the McGill guy from the Brewers. I get Trevor and Tyler mixed up, and then Robert Suarez from the Padres. So who do you have in your rotation and bullpen for the National League?
So I got Cal Quantrill, Chris Sale, Imanaga too, because it's hard not to have him. Let's see. So I said Cal Quantrill.
Yes, you did.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Imanaga. Oh, who's the guy on the Brew Crew?
Freddie
Who's
Peralta?
yeah, Peralta. Yep. Peralta and can't forget Freddie. So and Tyler Glasnow. I got him as well. And then rounding out the rotation,
The bullpen?
yeah, the bullpen. Reynaldo Lopez for the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, you're using a Sparp here. Okay.
Yeah. He goes both ways, so
He's a star. He's been a starter this year though, but he's
yeah. He's been a great starter, a surprising starter. I
Yes.
drafted him on my team and then dropped him, and now I'm kind of like pissed that I did that. But someone else picked him up, so good for them. So
Hey, you did that on draft night, I think.
yeah, exactly. I didn't even give the guy a chance, and now he's playing super well. Bednar on
Bednar's injured right now, by the way.
oh, oh crap. Okay, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, honestly he has like an ERA over 5. So and I was thinking about Bednar as my pick, but
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Hunter Harvey on the Nats,
He's been good.
and I'm gonna go with Tanner Scott on the Marlins.
Yeah, Tanner seems to be probably one of the only like Marlins that would be worth making the team.
Yeah, and if he actually gets traded, he'll probably get some pretty good stuff for him. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think he's definitely going to be traded there. So
yeah,
I
they
think
seem like a sell now and not later type of ball club today.
a
So
pretty interesting situation where we both have like Jurickson Profar as our starting outfielder, and we're going to be like, Jurickson Profar was an all-star. When did this happen?
oh, I
This
know.
seems
And
so
last
random
year,
given his career.
yeah, last year it was the curse of Jefferson Profar. Like it was like, oh, pick Jefferson Profar up. He's supposed to be a pretty good player, and then just never did anything. And now this year it's like, oh yeah, try to stop him from being a good player, basically.
Yeah, I drafted Profar last year too. I remember that, and he did not do much of anything, but he got a late start too. He was one of those Boris guys that got a late start, but
Yeah.
Profar though, I mean, he wasn't as good as some of the other guys. So let's go to our AL teams,
Okay.
and I'll start. I have Adley Rutschman as my catcher,
Yeah.
Josh Naylor at first base. My little buzzer boy, Jose Altuve at second. Jose Ramirez at third. Gunnar Henderson at short. Judge Soto as the two Yankee outfielders. Jared Duran is the other outfielder. And then Yordan Alvarez from the Astros. And obviously,
Oh
if
yeah.
Kyle Tucker wasn't hurt, Kyle Tucker would be that third starting outfielder without a doubt. But he's injured at the moment. Even though he might
Yeah.
actually make it back for the All-Star game, but currently he is hurt.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
How's your offense look for the American League?
So I also got Adley Rutschman as my catcher. Jose Ramirez as my first baseman. Mookie Betts played
Oh, third.
second. Oh, third. Oh yeah. Naylor. Sorry,
You have Naylor
Naylor was
first.
my
Naylor
Naylor
didn't
first
even
baseman.
make the final 2 votes for the starting spot, but Naylor's been the best first baseman in the American League this year.
I mean, I think so as well, but
Like the
it's
stats don't
also a
lie. He's been the
popularity
best.
contest as well. So
Naylor will definitely make the team though.
yeah, I got Betts as my second baseman, although he's playing short, but he did
Mookie
play
Betts
second.
plays for the National League, dude, and he's hurt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I don't even know. my,
You still think he plays for the Red Sox?
my bad. Yeah.
I mean, Mookie Betts would have been my starting.
I'm still on his World Series winning year with the Sox, so that's
Oh,
my
wow.
bad.
All right. Okay. Second
Yeah.
base.
All right, I'm here now. Yeah, I go. So mini me, Jose Altuve, lights out there.
Yeah.
Shortstop, since you did Henderson, I'll go with Bobby Witt Jr. just because um, I guess we should show him some love because he's been playing pretty great. So, and then
Outfield.
outfield, I got Judge, Soto, Alvarez, and
Who's your DH?
oh man. DH is I'm just gonna put Ramirez as my DH. That guy's been hitting the cover off the balls. I know I got 2 Guardians, but
Oh, well,
doubling
you
up
had
on.
Ramirez at third, though.
Oh, I okay. Wow, this is turning out to be much harder than I thought.
I just
I
have an
did
Excel
not.
spreadsheet, so I did all this. I wrote it all.
Yeah, you're much more. I am a lot of handwriting and not that organized. So, oh boy.
Want to go Rafi Devers at third then instead of Jose Ramirez if you want to use Ramirez as your DH?
Yeah. Rafi. I mean, I got to go with my boy Rafi. So.
Rafi's my boy too.
Yeah, I
So
mean, he's your original boy, and then I stole him from you.
See, this is the thing. Rafi is the guy who I should have the T-shirt about because Rafi's my favorite baseball player, and Jeff knows this.
Oh,
I've
okay.
drafted Rafi like every single year, almost every single year, except for the past couple.
Yeah. Well, that makes zero sense then.
Yeah, I know Jeff is weird about these things. One of
Yeah.
these days we got to get Jeff on the show, but we'll talk about that. For my bench, I have Vladdy Jr. I have Bobby Witt Jr. because he's been very good. Rafi's on my bench at third. It was a pick 'em between Rafi and Jose. I went with the counting stats for Jose at third base because he's on an obscene pace right now.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa for the Twins because he's actually really picked it up lately, and his OPS is almost 900 right now.
Dude, it's off the charts.
Yeah,
So.
he's come out of nowhere, and so he can play pretty much anywhere on the diamond. And then got to get my token Angel player, so Taylor Ward was who I picked.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Who's on your bench?
Oh yeah, I gotta have an Angel player. Jeez.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
There's only like a couple, like only like 2 or 3 potential choices there.
Oh, okay. So my Angel player on my bench is Logan O'Hoppe. He's not like the best. He's not the worst though, and I think he's one of the better players on the team. So, I got Vlad, I got Correa, Corey Seager, and Marcus Simeon.
And Corey Seager did get hit by a pitch last night, so I don't know how hurt he is, but we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone because it just happened last night, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I got to take Corey Seager because he spent most of the year injured last year for me, but then just came through in such a big way at the end of the year that I can't not have my man Seager on the team. So.
I was struggling to find a Rangers player, and I couldn't bring myself to put Seager on there, even though he's on my fantasy team as well. And he hit a home run last night before getting hit by a pitch. So, I thought I was covered at shortstop with Correa and Bobby Witt anyway. So,
I mean it's a pretty crowded field in the AL at shortstop. So
yeah, it is, and I chose a different Ranger, as you'll see when we get to the rotation and the bullpen. So for my rotation, I have Tarek Skubal from the Tigers, Corbin Burns from the Orioles, Logan Gilbert from the Mariners, Seth Lugo from the Royals, and Garrett Crochet from the White Sox. And for my bullpen, I have Jason Adam from the Rays, Kirby Yates from the Rangers, and Mason Miller from the A's.
I mean, hard not to have Mason Miller on your team. So.
I was worried when when we had to have the single player from every team rule, but honestly, guys like Mason Miller and Crochet kind of made that easier.
Yeah,
those are like no-brainer pickups from those two teams. I was struggling with like the Rangers and the Rays and the Giants more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like which Mariners starting pitcher was I going to pick? That was
you got your choice of 5. So, but as far as Mariners starting pitching goes, I mean Logan Gilbert has been the rock. Even though I know that's
I think Castillo is in terms of like stuff, I think Castillo is still probably the best pitcher on that team. But in terms of like how they've performed this year, Gilbert has been like the best one, at least statistically. So
I think you're absolutely right on that. So,
and I really wanted to get Jack Flaherty on the team too, but he's really, really been impressive. But He didn't make it. And spoiler alert, I had Tanner Hawk on this team until yesterday when he got destroyed by the Padres. I took him off after that, and I wanted to make
Really,
the
just
Tanner
hating
Hawk
on
do a
Tanner
joke,
after getting
and then
destroyed.
he got Tanner Hawk. He forgot to spit on the ball. So yesterday,
Yeah, I mean, apparently he did something different yesterday than he's been doing. So
yeah, Manny hit 2 home runs off of him, I believe, yesterday. So
yeah, it was almost in consecutive at bats too. So
I'm pretty sure it was because like I got the notice on my phone, and then like I got another notice from Machado like a few minutes later. I thought I didn't clear the first one, but it was another one.
nice.
So who do you have on your starting rotation and your bullpen?
So I have Tanner Hawk because I'm not a bandwagon fan. I got Logan Gilbert. I got Crochet, Scooble. That's the end of my lineup?
I feel like you're missing one, but
Oh, Brady Singer. I like the way Brady's been pitching this year. My rotation's kind of a little bit on the younger side, but it's like younger guys who have been released to just go out and do their thing on the mound, and they're no longer being, kind of like held back a little bit.
did you have Burns in there?
Oh yeah, Corbin Burns too.
I forgot Burns when I first did the list, and now I was like looking back, and I was like, oh, I totally spaced on Burns.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, my list is maybe I'll take a picture and send it to you. Is kind of just everywhere. But
who do you guys have in your bullpen besides Mason Miller? I know you got Mason Miller somewhere in there.
oh yeah, I mean, of course, gotta have Mason Miller. But I also have Brian Abreu. I think he doesn't get as much respect as he should get on the Houston Astros, and honestly has been the relief pitcher least likely to have everything blow up in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go with a controversial choice, but I'm choosing Pete Fairbanks solely because he sees a lot of the work in Tampa Bay. They're normally in close games, and the guy does well. So
I like Pete Fairbanks too. I just think that Adam right now is the better pitcher. The Rays are kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, but he was injured. I don't know if he's still injured, but
Jason Adam?
yeah.
Okay.
Because it's him and Fairbanks who share the
Well, I think
closing
this is kind of my this is sort of my conspiracy theory about how the Rays run their team. See, the bullpen whole thing with the bullpen is that in arbitration they basically only care about one stat, and they care about saves. So what the Rays and this is what we learned from like the whole Josh Hader experience.
Oh, Jesus.
He talked about that. So he talked about like how, saves are the only thing they care about in arbitration. So what the Rays have done for years is that they will spread their save opportunities out across like 6 or 7 guys.
Oh, okay.
But a year or two ago, they started going to Pete Fairbanks full time for saves.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they did this is because they got Pete Fairbanks to sign a contract extension.
Oh,
basically just give him, and so I think they agreed to like a 4-year deal for like $12 million, something ridiculously low for a high quality closer, like $3 million.
Ridiculously high for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, I mean, they did give Wander Franco a lot of money, but that didn't work out very well.
Yeah, well, he couldn't keep his hands.
But the point of the story is that once they gave Fairbanks the money and they hadn't established a budget for a closer, they gave him all the save opportunities and didn't really give the save opportunities to anybody else.
Yeah, okay.
Except for when he was hurt.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
So like that's my theory about why the Rays stopped being the Rays when it comes to the save opportunities.
Yeah.
is
Okay.
that they paid one guy to basically get all the saves so that they could suppress the rest of their bullpen salaries down.
No, okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad I have Pete Fairbanks, but yeah, that makes
yeah,
because
Pete's a good pitcher. I don't think he's just kind
yeah.
of been as good as he's been in past years.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting. I feel like pitching this year is every team is playing for after the All-Star break, and I don't think we've seen anyone's best stuff, even how good pitchers have been before. I think after we're going to just see, the go, we're gonna win, lights out, um, good pitching. And on the teams that they can be traded away, you're gonna see the pitchers traded away. And on the teams that are just middling, you're gonna see those pitchers regress to just making it through the season. So
It's interesting. I mean, I have Jared Jones for the Pirates on my fantasy team, and Jared Jones basically was just held out this week. He didn't even pitch.
oh wow.
They just like said, "Nah, you're resting this week. You're not playing." And I
Well,
just
I mean,
wonder,
and
I wonder at what point they're going to do that with Paul Skeens because
yeah,
he's, going to rack up some innings at some point, and they're going to want to make sure that those two guys are together because obviously that's their breadwinners for trying to be contenders down the line.
yeah, and he went toe to toe with Max Fried yesterday, who I forgot to put in my starting lineup only because I needed Cal Quantrill, and it's a very crowded. I mean, I like Max Fried as a left-handed pitcher. I think Chris Sale is pitching better than him,
Yeah,
barely, barely,
yeah, and
maybe.
it's
But
so hard when you only have five starting spots, and then I have to give like two of them to Imanaga and Webb. I mean, I couldn't even put Ranger Suarez on there, who has been almost as good as
shut.
Zach Wheeler this year.
Oh my goodness, Ranger Suarez. I was like, when someone drafted him in our fantasy league, I was like,
I
yeah,
picked up
good
Ranger
luck.
Suarez.
Oh, yeah. I was like, good luck with that, is what I said to you. And then now he's like one of the best pitchers in the National League. I'm like, that's not even fair. So,
I picked up Ranger Suarez expecting to start him like 1 week because I think
yeah.
somebody got hurt. Might have been like Darvish's first stint on the injured list or something like that. I was like, I picked him up, figured he'd be like sitting there a week or two, and then all of a sudden he's just been amazing. Like I think this week was like one of his only losses of the year. He lost to the Tigers.
Yeah. Which I think Riley Green had a couple of things to say about that. So, which
Riley
is the
Green was
only,
another guy I really was waffling about trying to put on the team because Riley's had a pretty good season. He's a borderline all-star candidate this year. I think he's got like an 850 OPS, which is pretty good. Especially having to hit in that
yeah.
ballpark.
And dude, and man, Comerica Park is giant, first of all. And second of all, he's coming off TJ, and I thought that the who's the to contact pitcher on the Tigers? Kenta Maeda.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I thought that Kenta Maeda was going to come back like super strong after Tommy John this year, after having it the previous year. But Riley Green is the one on that team who came back after Tommy John and is just really seeing the baseball pretty well and playing really well in the outfield. So.
Did he have Tommy John on? I feel like he had it on his non-throwing arm elbow too, which is even weirder.
Oh yeah, I don't know the details of his surgery, but um I just know that he had it. And also now I just saw that Isaac Paredes hit a home run, but I already have too many Rays players on my team. So that guy
I'm
started
gonna
out as a utility player and then earned himself third base. Like they just couldn't keep him out of the third base position. So kudos to him.
Yeah, he I just Googled it. He did have Tommy John surgery on his non-throwing elbow. How do you get
Weird.
Tommy John surgery on your non-throwing elbow? That just seems very, very odd.
Playing too much catch with your son using your non-throwing arm in order to be ambidextrous.
I guess. I don't know. That was like when I read about Drew Brees like having to throw with his other hand because his throwing hand is so beat up. So he basically throws his, to his kids now with his left hand because his right hand got so beat up playing football for 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I mean,
teach there. So maybe that's what Riley Green. He's saving his throwing arm for his professional career, and then when he's not, he uses his other hand. So.
closing
Oh,
remarks. Who do you think's got the better teams? Do you think your team's better than mine? My team's better than yours? If we win, they
I
face each
think.
other.
I mean, obviously, I think my team's better than yours because I picked my team. But I feel like if they went toe to toe, I mean, it'd be a one-run game coming down to the bottom of the ninth, and you flip a coin to see
Who do
who's
you
going to
think would
be the.
win? If the National League, the American League team of our respective teams, okay, who do you think would win?
Mhm.
National League or the American League?
The American League, I think, has better pitching, so I'd pick the American League, especially if you could keep it within a run. I think having Mason Miller in the background, just looming over everything, gives the American League an edge. So
I feel like the National League's got a nastier lineup, and the bullpen's not as good, but I think their starting rotation's a bit better, and I think they've got a close edge, especially with Otani and Freeman just sitting there, and then you got Ozuna, and even if you like have to put Profar in the
yeah,
back,
but then
whatever, but defensively
I
they're not.
mean, but you got Alvarez, Judge, Soto, Rutschman, Altuve, Henderson. Henderson has
Yeah,
an OPS of 1,000, by the way. So
yeah, it's going to be a close one. I think the National League's better,
yeah,
but
basically it's going to be a lot of home runs. Everyone hits everything, and we'll see what happens. But
and we're just about out of time today. It was a great show. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
yeah, sounds good. First All-Star game was July 6, 1933, Kaminsky Park, Chicago.
See you guys.